This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
Hey, do you like coconut? If you do, you're going to love these super easy to make coconut macaroons. So of course we have to first start with coconut, and I'm just getting sweetened flaked coconut, and we need about 3 cups of that and a teaspoon of almond extract and just a pinch of salt. And then we're just going to mix this around a little bit in a bowl. Next, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of sweetened condensed milk. Now, sweetened condensed milk is milk that has been cooked and the water has been cooked out of it, but some sugar has been put in instead, and it's very thick. And when we add it to this coconut, it's going to make this really thick paste, and that's what we're going for here. Now, to lighten things up, what we're going to do is we're going to separate 2 eggs, and what we're going to be using is the egg whites. So what I do is I just get 2 little dishes out, and I put the yolks in one and the whites in the other, and you can use the yolks in something else. Just put some saran on them and put them in the refrigerator. So then we want to go over to the mixer, and we're going to put those 2 egg whites in the mixing bowl. And notice that I have the whisk attachment on my mixer because we're going to be beating in a lot of air into these egg whites. We want them to get nice and fluffy. So I'm going to start it on a medium speed to kind of break that white up a little bit. And then I'm going to be adding a teaspoon of cream of tartar. And cream of tartar helps sort of stabilize the egg whites. And then I'm going to turn the speed up to about 3/4 and let it start getting that air in. Now, when you're dealing with egg whites, you do have to check them a couple of times while you're beating them. Now, if you'll notice this one, the peak or the point kind of flops over. This is considered a soft peak with egg whites, which is great, but not for this recipe. This recipe, we're going for a stiff peak. So what that tells me is I need to put my mixer back on and let it beat for a couple of more minutes, and maybe 2 minutes or so. And if you notice now, the peak is staying stiff. It's not flopping over. And if you look down into the bowl, you'll see it's these little mountains of egg white. They just stand up perfectly straight. That's what we're going for. So now that we have our egg whites at a stiff peak, we're going to start folding that into our coconut mixture. Now, if you had a chance to see our chocolate souffle cookie podcast, I was showing you how to fold egg whites into chocolate. Well, we're going to be doing the same thing, but we're just folding the egg whites into this very thick coconut mixture. Now, when you fold, you want to use a spatula, and it's not a mixing action. It's a very slow, deliberate action, and you're almost dividing the mixture in half each time and incorporating it with the coconut. So take your time, and it will really work out great, and you won't deflate your egg whites. So now it's time to scoop our macaroons, and I'm using a cookie scoop. This is a middle-sized cookie scoop, actually, but you want to definitely place these on parchment because otherwise they're going to stick and be really difficult. And you'll notice I do a scoop, and then I kind of pull those edges in because coconut browns really easily, and if I have too many strays kind of hanging out there on their own, they'll get very brown real quickly, and it won't be as pretty as I'm looking for. So after you scoop them all in, then kind of go back with your fingers and just kind of tuck those little bits in. And then when you have them all ready, you're going to go ahead and put them in the oven, and they're going to bake at 350 for about 15 minutes. Now, when you take them out of the oven, they should be kind of goldeny brown on the peaks and around the edges like this. And it's also important to get them off the baking sheet so that they can start to cool. Now you can certainly have delicious coconut macaroons like this, but I like to do a little chocolate number on top of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some dark 60% chocolate, but you could also use a semi-sweet if you'd like, and I'm going to use about 3/4 of a cup. And I'm going to put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds, give it a little stir, and put it back in the oven microwave for about 30 seconds. And you'll see it's starting to get a little smoother. I think about 15 more seconds. And sure enough, when I bring it back, this is perfect. Now, lots of times people dip macaroons into the chocolate, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can do a pretty drizzle. Now, what you need to do is get a dinner fork, one that has long tines on it. And then you basically just kind of get a fork full and you drizzle it back and forth, going in one direction on all the macaroons. And you don't have to worry about using all the chocolate. You don't have to worry about covering the macaroon totally because we're going to go through and do a second pass on them. So I'm just finishing up with this first pass. So I'm going to set the chocolate down. I'm going to turn the sheet about 1/4 of a turn, and then I'm going to go in sort of a diagonal drizzle across. So you end up getting this kind of cross hatch on the macaroon. It really looks very sophisticated and elegant, but it's really easy to do. And I'm just going to go through and do one pass this way so that we have these crossed chocolate streaks on each one of the macaroons. Now I want to let this chocolate set up, so what I'm going to do is slide a cool cookie sheet underneath these, and I'm going to pop them in the refrigerator for 15 to 20 minutes, and look what happens. I mean, they're just gorgeous, and it's just enough chocolate that just complements that coconut, and when you open them up, it's just so moist and delicious on the inside. Well, I hope you'll give these coconut macaroons a try. They're really easy. They're really good. And of course, you can go to our website to get the information. I'll see you next time.